Well, hey everybody, welcome back to my virtual campfire. Thanks for being with me today. If I look a little bit grumpier than normal, please forgive me. My back is killing me. I wish I could tell you I did something to hurt it, but I don't know. Maybe it is just getting old. I want to do a shout out at the top of this video to my friends over at PPL Motorhomes. I talk about them all the time. They are one of America's most trusted RV dealers, been in business for more than 50 years. They're the largest consignment RV dealer in the nation. I received a phone call recently from somebody that purchased an RV from them, a voicemail message. It's really nice. I'm going to run it at the end of today's video, but if you're thinking about selling your RV or buying a good used RV, a link to PPL is down below. Following up on my video, I talked about, you need to listen. Are you listening? That was back when Hurricane Beryl or Beryl. What is it? Is it Beryl? Beryl. I don't know. Lessons learned. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to start out, I guess, telling you about my car. My car repair. Many of you asked, what the hell happened to your car, Wingman? If you don't know, I am a penny pinching old man. I have an old car. I have a 2014 Volkswagen Passat that is a diesel called a TDI. Bought it when it was new, and I love that little car. I go everywhere in it. It's my daily driver. I will never get rid of it. But my wife and I went on vacation and live in Texas, went on vacation in Colorado, came back through New Mexico, and starting out in Roswell, New Mexico, I developed an oil leak. It wasn't a leak, it was a gusher. And between Roswell, New Mexico and San Antonio, Texas, I went through 85 quarts of oil. 85. A lot of people said, oh my God, what was it? Well, first off, it wasn't, when the car was stopped, there was nothing coming out the oil pan, nothing. And it wasn't being burned. So there wasn't, the blue smoke or whatever smoke it would be coming out the tailpipe. But man, when that engine was running, it was pumping. It was a gusher. So what it was, literally, some of y'all asked, I texted the guy back at the dealership and said, exactly what was it? And he said it was an oil line that ran from the turbocharger to the engine. It was on the top of the engine. So once the engine was running, boom, 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 I guess the pistons or whatever going up and down, it was squirting out, like I said, like Old Faithful. So that's what happened. It's about a $450 repair, except, like everything else, it's like, when you pull a string, oh, I'm going to pull that string, and it turns into so that my $450 string that I started pulling turned out to be another $2,000 because it was some kind of an issue with the exhaust system. But my car is running fine now. That was talking, I was talking about following up on Beryl. And Beryl was what I talked about earlier, about listening and lessons. For us to be wise, we have to be smart enough to listen to what's going on around us, whether it's our dogs or the weather or things on, YouTube or Facebook or the news. And we got to be able to filter out truth from lies. And then we have to be able to take action. What lessons did you learn from Hurricane Beryl? What'd you learn? Our power never went out. I have turned into, in my old age, a prepper. I have. I've got a Generac system, and it's because just in case, I spent, I think it was $18,000 getting a Generac put in my house several years ago. And since then, it's almost never turned on. Almost never. I knew that was going to happen too. You ever, I'm going to buy something just in case, and then you never need to use it. But we did need to use it recently. So the Generac turned on, and it worked beautifully. Somebody asked me, is it worth it? Was it worth $18,000? That one time that the Generac saved me, that wasn't worth $18,000. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as peace of mind. What have you learned from these natural disasters? What have you learned maybe the hard way? Give me one lesson that you have learned the hard way that you wish you didn't have to experience. I'd like to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What have you learned the hard way? Just give me one. I wish I would have known what? I wish I wouldn't have done what? Give me one lesson that you learned the hard way that, it was not fun to go through. A friend of mine, after this hurricane went through the Houston area, was without electricity for a week. A week. Have you ever been without electricity for a week? Think about it. Oh, we could make it. Well, you could make it. What about the food in your fridge? What about everything you've got in your freezer? What about your, I don't know, your CPAP machine? What would happen if you didn't have power for a week? I think it's worth considering. There are more people prepping today than ever before. Is something going to happen? I don't know. But if it does, I think I have a little bit longer, a little bit better chance to survive it than a few years ago when I thought, well, we'll figure it out. As I say, when people say, we'll figure it out, well, we all do. But that's how we learn things the hard way. Why is that? I'd love to hear from you. Literally, why is that? This channel is not built to, it's not built on the platform of trying to get the attention of people. It's not. I mean, I like to get the attention of people. It's built on the platform of trust. I believe it is much easier to get somebody's attention than it is to get their trust. Trust takes a long time to build. It does. You have to prove yourself. You have to be consistent. I'm going to segue and try to wrap this video up here. When you're thinking about buying an RV, do you want somebody that's yelling at you, we got a special deal and only $5 a day, or whatever the ad says, only to find out that you can't trust them? Or do you want to do business with somebody that's been around for a while, a long while, like the people that I work with, the people that I recommend? For me, trust is more important than attention. It takes a long time to build that trust, and an instant, one bad experience to change it. The dealers that I work with, they're not perfect, they're not, but I trust them. I trust that they will work to make things perfect as best they can, and they will not try to avoid you and ghost you, as they say. They want to do the right thing. And speaking of dealers that I can trust, PPL, I mentioned at the top of the deal. I'm going to go ahead and wrap today's video up. Before I do, and before I run this phone call, I want to hear from you. I want to know, give me one lesson, just one, that you had to learn the hard way. It could be a personal lesson. It could be something about work. It could be something about trusting people. It could be anything. Give me one thing that you had to learn the hard way. I've shared some things with you. By the way, did I mention this yet? When I was doing, when I do the chores around here, I try to do as many things on my own as I can. I was cleaning my air conditioner coils the other day. It was a couple-hour project, not a big deal, but I bumped into the fence that's near the AC unit. And I got one of these things right here. My wife calls them Gorbies. I don't know what you call them, but I call them ugly. I remember my dad used to get those things. Dad, what's wrong with your arms and your hands? You got all these old man marks on. He goes, that's what it is. It's old man stuff. So old man and old woman. So I don't know. I just wanted to share some personal things with you. Some lessons I learned through Beryl is, Beryl, is I'm glad I got a Generac. I'm glad I'm a prepper. I'm glad I got a few things, more than a few things, to get me through. If I got to bug out, I can bug out quick. I also know where I'm going. Do you know where you're going if you got a big problem? I'd like to hear from you. I listen to every voicemail, and we're getting a lot of voicemails, by the way. So that number's coming up. It's on the screen right now. I would love to hear from you. You got a rant, you got a rave, you just want to make a comment about our virtual campfire here, or maybe you have an experience with an RV dealer that you would like to share. I would love to hear from you. So I'm going to wrap it up now, and then after I say goodbye, we're going to play that phone call, that voicemail I received from some people that purchased an RV from PPL RV Supercenter. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Thanks for watching. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Connie. I've been dealing with PPL in New Braunfels, Texas, and I just wanted to say that this is the absolute best experience that I've ever had in purchasing pretty much anything. My journey started with Cullen Hartley, and she was wonderful in getting us pictures and videos of some homes that we were possibly interested in. Tim has been our salesman, and he's been absolutely wonderful in showing us the coach and taking us for rides and everything else. And, of course, there's Brian and Angel, who have been very helpful in explaining us some things and teaching us some things, and Angel more for the financing and making sure that everybody's taking care of us. I don't know that people do it any better, and I don't see room for improvement, to be honest with you. Everybody's been very prompt and very courteous and very kind and very knowledgeable, which was very important to us. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to express myself, and I just want you to know these guys are just awesome.
Hey, it's a Wingman. If you'd like to sound off, I'd love to hear from you. Call me 24/7 at 1-855-296-SHOW.
Class A, B, or C, a bumper pull two, a fiver toy hauler or van. Watching out for you, just like he's supposed to, and that's why he's called the Wingman.